Hey guys, this is Rhine1988 or Justin, and this is going to be my first review for the first week on the Burns Redo. And this week we're going to be talking about a pretty awesome topic, especially since I am a horror movie fan, lover. I love mostly all different types of horror films. So the first week is just an awesome kickoff, and I really enjoy this trilogy or this series now since the fourth film came out. But first of all, I just want to say I'm truly thankful to be a part of this group channel. I'm looking forward to, talking about a certain film each week and hearing everybody's opinions. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And, everybody has their own opinions on films, so this is a great channel for that. And I hope everybody enjoys watching these reviews from everybody. So if you guys don't know my channel, real quickly, I do movie reviews as well. I'm a big horror movie fan, so I talk a lot about horror movies, but also, different genres of films. I do vlogs, and I just love making videos. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you want to, I will leave that channel down below. But for the first week, like I said, we're talking about a series that I personally love. Some of the sequels are a hit and miss. But we are going to be talking about the first three films, and I'm not really going to talk too much about plot because, everybody knows this series. It's a pretty well-known series. In ways, kind of underrated, but not too much, in my opinion. But we are going to be talking about the first three Scream films. Now, Scream, directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson, came out in 1996. It was the slasher film that really brought the slasher films back. They were more popular again, and it made the horror genre a lot more popular as well, especially the slasher films, like I said, because between 89 to 96, before this film came out, we had a hit and miss of slasher films, but they weren't as well known or as popular as they were in the 70s and 80s, especially in the 80s when you had a lot of slasher films come out. So this was a big comeback for slasher films, and I'm truly thankful that this film came out, because I don't think, if it wasn't for Scream, we would not have, the sequels. Obviously, we would not have I Know What You Did Last Summer and a lot of those 90s slasher films or 2000 slasher films that have come out in the past. Also, this was a big comeback for Wes Craven as well, because, for a while, his films were a hit and miss for people. Some are big hits, some weren't. But this was, I believe, the film of his that really brought him back and made a big comeback for him. So, the film and all films star Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette. But each film has a, guest star, or, they have appearances by familiar faces in them. Especially in this film with Drew Barrymore. She's on the front. And we all know about Drew Barrymore's opening sequence in this film. And in my opinion, that is the best scene in the film. And still today, it's very creepy and eerie. I love this film. It's definitely the best, in my opinion, in the series. I love that it's a slasher film, but also kind of pokes fun, or, mentions, slasher films from the past or horror films. You hear, quotes from the, horror films in this. You hear a lot of talk of Halloween, which was a big influence on this film. I mean, this film looked up to Halloween, especially with Kevin Williamson, which Kevin Williamson is, by far, knows how to write slasher films, especially with the 90s slasher films that he wrote. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer and this and Scream 2. Yeah, this is just a really entertaining film. Again, I love that it, pokes fun to the other slashers that came out in the past. Like I said, it talks about Halloween a lot. You have little movie quotes in there, or you have, a mention of Carpenter and Craven in one scene. You also have a very interesting scene with Drew Barrymore when she's talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. And she mentions that the first one was the best, but the rest sucked, basically. And I thought that was pretty clever to put that in there, since, Wes Craven has been a part of the Nightmare on Elm Street series for most of the films, or a little bit of the films, few films. Yeah, Scream is just a very clever slasher film. In my opinion, there's still a lot of creepy, eerie scenes today. You got a great score, and I just love it. I've always loved it. I've loved it ever since it came out in '96 when I saw it on a VHS tape when I rented it with family and friends. So to me, Scream still holds up today. And like I said, the best scene for me is Drew Barrymore's scene because when this film came out, everybody thought, oh, she's going to be the lead heroine in this film. Turned out she was the first person to die off. And, I think she has a big career, but she's also probably going to be remembered for Scream in that opening sequence, in my opinion. So definitely, I love Scream. I recommend it. Best in the series. Scream 2 came out in '97, right after Scream 1. And for me, even with Scream 4 coming out, or is out, I still think this is the best sequel. Scream 2, and I love this about the Scream films. They, blend in, the sequels or a trilogy or a remake, especially with Scream 4. They mention a lot of remakes. Scream 2 mentions these sequels, how some sequels can be better than others, or how some sequels can be worse than others. Especially, if you have a slasher film and you make a sequel to that, sometimes the person in the first film won't make it in the sequel, and stuff like that happens in the film. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. But again, this was directed by Wes Craven. It was written by Kevin Williamson. Like I said, I think Kevin Williamson knows how to write a freaking awesome slasher film. Especially, he's well known for the horror films from the '90s. He also wrote The Faculty, which I want to mention that one because I really like that. But Scream 2 is definitely the best sequel in my opinion. I like the first one a bit better, but this one holds up with that as well. You have returning cast members, really cool, fun deaths, a lot of slashing involved. But I really enjoy this film. I think it's the best sequel out of all of them, and like I said, I like that it blends, the whole sequel thing into it. And also, you see little glimpses of, a stab movie, which is based on the original, events of the first film. And also, you have another really cool opening sequence with Jada Pinkett Smith and her boyfriend in a movie theater, which is really fun. So, definitely one of the best parts about this film as well. But I still really enjoy this. Also, in the first film, you have two killers. I forgot to mention that. But in this film as well, you have two killers. And I have to say, one of the killers in this film is a very shocking thing if you're viewing it for the first time. And in my opinion, it's still one of the most shocking reveals as a killer in the whole franchise. So, yeah, Scream 2, highly recommend it. Definitely the best sequel. And then you get Scream 3 from 2000. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this film. I am one who is in the middle of it. I think it's just a pretty good average film. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's pretty good. I don't completely hate it. I can watch it again, especially if I watch the first two films. And when Scream 4 comes out on Blu-ray, I'm probably going to watch them in order. Now, I love the serious moments in this film. And by the way, this is, again, directed by Wes Craven, and it is now written by Aaron Kruger, who is known for the Ring remake and the Transformers films. And this is the one big, mistake when it comes to the writing. The writing is the huge problem, because I don't think, in my opinion, Aaron Kruger knows how to write a slasher film. His serious moments in this film work really well, and they connect well to the first two films. And that's why it was so good when it was just a trilogy, because the serious moments in the film are great. The backstory with Sydney's mother is awesome. But the comedic moments, even though Scream 1 and 2 had its funny moments, this film seems to overdo it, especially with, the Silent Bob and, Jay and Silent Bob, the little scene, and little things like that. I mean, they could have cut down the comedic moments, and it would have been a better film, in my opinion. At least I think so. But still, I think it's a pretty good film. This one covers a trilogy, which I think is awesome, and I really enjoy that it blends well into the film. But the only problem I had, again, was the comedic moments, and honestly, I don't think Aaron Kruger knows how to write a Scream film. I think he should stay away from this franchise, because, he does a great job with the serious moments, but when he's trying to do comedic moments, it just doesn't work well, in my opinion. His serious moments, again, are great in this film, but his comedic moments are just off, and they're just way too much, and they could have cut back, and I think the film would have been a lot better. And that's why I think, and real quickly with Scream 4, that's why I think a lot of those one-liners or those comedic moments in Scream 4 don't work well, because Aaron Kruger came back to fill in Kevin Williamson's shoes, basically, when Kevin Williamson left. And that's why I think those comedic moments in Scream 4 don't really work well. But Scream 3, still a really fun sequel. Highly recommend it. Especially if you're going to watch the Scream franchise now, since Scream 4's come out. Still a very fun movie. Pretty good film, in my opinion. So overall, if I had to rate the Scream trilogy real quick, I would definitely say I would give the trilogy a 8.5 out of 10. So I'm going to go. I don't want to make this video too long as it is, but I hope you guys enjoyed my first review on the Burns redo. Definitely come back for tomorrow and come back for next week when we do another movie and another topic. So I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys are having a good day or night. And I say this on my channel, so I feel like saying it now, and hopefully it's okay. And let's go eat some Skittles.